guys, I'm Kimberly. That's Tori. This is It's Nothing, It's Everything. This podcast started because we are expert amateurs at everything.
That's so accurate.
And we think that the thoughts that we have and the words that we say at each other are sometimes valuable, sometimes entertaining, and sometimes, contributing to who knows what.
Maybe society.
Maybe society.
If nothing else, your day.
Your day.
Listener.
Yeah. Come on. So because of that, now we have a podcast.
Cut, print, send it. I thought that was excellent. I thought it was very us. You're the brains. I'm comedy. Here we are.
Great.
Yeah. I thought that was really good.
Is there anything else you think we should include? Should we talk about how we met? How we meet? How did we meet?
I mean, here's the thing. I know how we met, but I don't remember what year.
But I don't know how we met. I know we bonded in cabaret.
Yes.
But is that when we met?
Yeah.
That's the first time we ever met.
First time. You were... Actually, I don't know if I've ever told you this. I was like new to Seattle. I lived in LA. I got hired at Village Theater for a crazy show called
Iron Curtain.
Where I danced with a potato on stage. Blessings. And then I did Spring Awakening at Balagan. And that's where I met Bo Mellinger. And Bo Mellinger said, hey, they're doing cabaret at Second Story. Never heard of it. And at the time, I had not heard of it. And he said, my friend is directing, and my other friend is Sally Bowles. And I was like, so I can't be Sally Bowles? Screw this. And then I was like, oh, wait, I'm still going to audition. I got laryngitis.
Wait, I wasn't precast, though.
What?
No, Robbie was precast.
Oh, maybe it was Robbie.
Robbie was the only one who was precast.
But so I went and I auditioned, and I had laryngitis. And that is where I drank an entire mug of, what's it called? Apple cider vinegar.
Ugh.
Warm apple cider vinegar and throat coat. Anytime I smell it, I want to yak in my mouth. Mm-hmm. And I squeaked out in front of this person I never knew, which was Troy. I've never met him in my entire life. This was my first time. And he was like, if that's what that sounds like, I can't wait to hear you really sing. And which I was like, thank you. And then I was Helga the baby.
Also, what a compliment. You are Helga the baby.
Helga the baby. Yeah, that's what you want to hear in the room. But I was like, could go the other way too, because I squeaked out. I mean, it was very sad to listen to.
And he said, he did not say, okay, thanks so much.
He didn't say that.
Next.
Backwards hat. And I didn't get cast for Sally Bowles, but you had been. And I was like,
who is this bitch?
Honestly. But I was like, of course I wasn't going to get, I knew I wasn't going to get Sally, but I was like, who is she? She's going to live up to it. You did.
Oh, that was a good show.
Visually stunning.
Yeah.
Such a crazy time.
Ooh.
Like, think of us in the 20s. In our 20s. Yeah. No. Ooh,
yeah.
Yeah, we were in our 20s.
We were in our late 20s. I was 28, 7.
Wait, how old do you know?
39. I'm about to turn 40. Excuse me, children.
You're 39?
Yeah.
I'm 38.
I'm turning 40 in April.
Oh my God.
I know.
What are we going to do?
I still don't know. I keep being like, I'm going to do nothing. And then I'm like, no, bitch, it's your 40th birthday.
It's your 40th. Everybody has that thought of who cares. But then you think about the end of your life.
Yeah.
And what'd you do for your 40th? Nothing?
Yeah,
That's the story you want to tell?
No, boo.
Trash.
How about Tijuana? I really just wanted to make you do
that took a left-hand turn. I did not see Tijuana coming down the pipeline. Sure, I'll go to Tijuana.
Let's go. Just a casual weekend.
Get some cheap lighters and
ride a donkey.
Get those cigs.
Eat some street meat.
No, I don't think we should.
Find some homemade tequila from a street vendor and hope that it's not. Yeah, probably the one with the rattlesnake in it.
That means it's authentic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's probably offensive in some way. So that's how we met. And then I met you during rehearsals.
Yeah. And then I remember we were fast friends.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
it's because of our gaggle of gays.
It's because of our gaggle of gays. And also because cabaret is a great way to trauma bond with people. There were some people in that show that we did not trauma bond with. But
that's normal.
Yeah. But I feel like we trauma bonded, and then you got engaged shortly after that. When did you get engaged?
Winter Wonderettes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
the best show of all time.
Patty asked me to come to the engagement, and I was like, I just remember being so excited that like he felt like I was important enough to be there.
Yeah.
And then I watched your now husband propose to you in front of what felt like 1 million people.
It did feel like 1 million people. There had to be at least 50.
There were so many people there.
But it was also a very small space.
Yeah.
R.I.P. wherever.
We were all just like crowded.
I mean, man, I remember walking in and up the stairs, and there's Pat standing there with like this random pedestal with flowers on top of it. And I was like, that's weird. Why is he? And then I looked.
Come from dinner, right?
We had just come from the Space Needle. We had Space Needle dinner, which like why I worked there.
Yeah. Hey babe, I really want to take you to your work for dinner.
I think I don't know why. That's what that was. And we were going to a restaurant. So like I don't know, but I mean it was lovely. I think it was because it was cheap and
And also romance.
Also romance. But
it's
we
like
weren't by ourselves. We were with another couple.
That's right.
And so sure. That restaurant doesn't exist anymore. And neither does the Space Needle.
No, now it's
a restaurant.
Now it's like
I've never been.
There's like a bar.
It's a bar.
But it's only open until 5 or something, or 9 maybe. Maybe it's only open from 5 tonight. I don't know.
I haven't been since I worked there. Because Pat's also afraid of heights, and so he doesn't want to go up.
But also the floor, the see-through.
He's really not here for that.
I don't like it.
No,
makes my tummy feel funny.
Have you ever been to the in New York Twin Towers where they were Freedom Tower?
Yeah.
Have you ever done the Freedom Tower?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
One, they've made it into like a ride. Like you go into this, it felt like Disneyland. Like you go in, it's very cool, but I was unprepared. I was like I was, and then you can feel how high you are.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I had a problem with heights until I was about halfway up. And then I thought they were just going to open up into just nothingness.
Oh.
And so Pat, I literally was like, oh my God, Pat, and I could feel him. And he was like holding, like he grabbed my hand and we were just holding hands. And I was like, oh my God, I'm really having a hard time. I'm like having heart palpitations. I'm like starting to sweat. Oh my God, are we going to die? Are they just going to throw us off what are we doing?
They just open the doors and there's nothing there. And they're just like, be free.
Well, and because you see this, like they do like cool video on the way up and they're showing everything be built in New York being built while you're going up.
Oh, that's cool.
Very cool. But yet again, halfway up, you can start to feel the elevator kind of sway and like, la, 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 la. Don't panic. We're Ujjayi breathing. I was like, don't panic. But then you go out and it's like a dark room that has another video that you have to watch.
Sure.
It's a very cool experience. But yeah, I was just like panicky. And so Pat does not want to go to the Space Needle, which is like not even a quarter of that building.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, if I can see through the floor, I'm going to hate that. Which me too, probably. I'd be like, that feels
I don't like it.
Staring at my death.
My stomach tries to crawl out my throat when.
I was going to say out my butt, but throat, probably better.
Yeah. So you had dinner at the Space Needle. Everyone met at, what bar was that?
I don't know. It's no longer exists.
It was the Loft. I remember it was just upstairs.
And there was a wall of people. And
we were all supposed to be hiding. That's what to me is so funny. Is it was like they're gonna be okay. They're gonna be. And everyone's like, oh, okay, Patty just texted. They're about to walk in, and everyone's like smashing each other into the corner.
Like if we just turn around together,
it's a loft. It's like an open air, open space loft. Like there's no, and everyone was just like nuzzled into each other. And I'm like, hey, people I've never met before. Yeah. Bo was literally the only person that I knew there.
And Eric.
And Eric.
Fred Eric.
Oh, and then a bunch of people I'd never met, and I was like, I guess we're all friends now.
Yeah, because I remember walking in and like looking and being like, those faces feel are all from it. Like if I look at the detail, but it was a wall of human beings.
Yeah.
And in my head, it is like you're stacked like on top of one another. Like all I see was just head, 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 like all the way up to the ceiling.
Like those cartoons where it's like 3 kids stacked with a trench coat to make them. Yeah.
That is what I saw. And and I was just like, huh. And in my head, I was like, it's not my birthday. It's not Pat's birthday. Whose birthday
is it?
Whose birthday is it? Why am I here? I was just like, what's happening? And why is this weird pedestal with a bunch of roses on it? He said a bunch of things on his knee. Couldn't tell you what he said because it was also so loud.
Yeah,
it was
very loud.
So dark. But I'm sure it was lovely. And something about, me being his person.
Love and stuff.
And then, and then flash when he asked me. And I was, and then going around the room, half the people were just hammered.
Yeah.
Somebody was handing out, I believe it was a sister-in-law of mine, gummy bears that she homemade.
Oh.
In
the before times. That was before it was legal.
Yeah, these gummy bears that were just tip to toe vodka.
Oh, they were.
And so
alcohol gummies.
Oh yes, they were alcohol, not weed, but gummies. This is no, this is alcohol gummies. And my God, I tried one and I was like, it's so bad. And so people were just like schmammered. I was like, thanks for being here, everybody.
People were schmammered. I remember also, we got there some amount of time early, to be early, because who wants to be the asshole that spoils the surprise, right?
Yeah.
And drinking. But I feel like when we got there, there were already people that had been there for a while drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a rager before you got there.
I know.
It was like a full-on
So you knew the actual wedding was going to be a gas.
And boy, was it.
And boy, was it. We said that there was going to be a bar cap. My dad, I'm the only girl, so like he was going to go for it. But he had put a cap. They're like, hey, Mr. Sparrow, like we're going to let you know when you've hit this amount.
Yeah.
And he's like, great. We hit that amount in probably 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's like, full send. I don't care. And because it was full, I mean, they could all have top shelf.
Yeah.
Do you know who did not drink? Me.
That's because you couldn't breathe.
That was horrible. But it was magical.
But you looked amazing.
But I looked amazing. I did not feel amazing.
You were wearing 2 corsets?
I was wearing 2 corsets, which I also did not know. And I didn't know that if you put like 15 pounds of material on your body, after probably 3 hours, you're going to be tired and not feel good.
And then like no actual function of your diaphragm.
No, and put yourself in 7-inch heels.
Yeah, those are some tall shoes.
Still got them. They're beautiful.
But also, you had to stand next to a very tall man.
I know. I mean, could you imagine my wedding photos?
If you didn't have those
Mutt and Jeff. Like, we would look so dumb. We'd look like that. The rooster with the little chicken.
Yeah, like how would you take wedding photos together? You'd be like at his belly button, like, I love you so much.
I mean, literally, even in my tallest heels I could find, I still am like, she looks dwarfed.
You're like, just hold me, just pick me up and hold me for all of our wedding photos, but make it look natural.
And then our wedding photos blow. They're the worst. I regret 2 things in my 3 things. And I can't control the ones. The rain.
Yeah.
The monsoon. Thank you for all the good luck that we've gotten. But it was, Seattle has never gotten that much rain.
Yeah, Seattle had a moment.
Seattle was showing up for
Seattle was having a whole moment.
It was so bad. We rented one of those like old-timey cars. But old-timey cars ain't supposed to be in rain. So while we're in the car, not only are fumes being kicked back into the car.
No.
So that probably didn't help my nausea. But also, it's torrential downpour, and those old windshield wipers are trying to keep up, and it's leaking onto my mom. And so my mom, who's in the front seat, she has towels.
Oh my God.
And she's holding the water out. And so and we'd rented a party bus for all the people.
It's also perfect for her.
God, right? Just my daughter's beautiful day, and I'm holding the water out. Yeah. It was magical.
And the party bus for
our people
party.
That afterwards we were supposed to go down to the pier. Very Seattle, lovely fall situation. No, couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Had no plan B. And then Balagan was right up the hill, so we went and did their set for Les Mis was opening, or that show was opening that night. And so our groom's, my matron of honor and the best man owned Polygon at the time. And they were like, we'll just go take it to the theater.
Wait, I don't think I've ever seen these photos.
They're horrible.
I've never seen wedding photos on a Les Mis stage.
But also
I need to see
oh
them.
my God, they were so bad. And like us sitting in the audience, like there was some like of us sitting in the audience.
Oh, I remember those with the sunglasses on.
Yeah. There's
those
one of us
cute.
at a bar that's cute.
Yeah.
But there's like out of the billion that they took, there's probably 4. It's also just the company Blue. They don't even, I don't think they exist anymore.
Yeah.
And for good reason, because there was just like, have you ever, and we got married in a church. They didn't bring anything. I was like, have you ever taken a photo in a church?
Do you know how to do this?
Because it looks like a funeral. Like it was, there's like very few good photos of my wedding. Other than the ones
selfishly, I have a great photo of me and
you do,
Jeff.
But that was taken by Danielle.
Oh, that's right.
So my mom, but she was in Les Mis. She was in the show. And so she couldn't do the whole thing because she was, of course, our first Danielle Barr call out. She's excellent.
Yeah.
But she could only come for me getting ready. So the me getting ready photos, excellent.
Also, yeah, those photos are
the ones that we all see from my wedding, all Danielle. The rest
interesting.
are horrible because then she had to go.
Yeah. I either didn't retain that story or I don't know. But man, I want to see those pictures now.
They're so bad. They're so bad. But, what a good story to have.
It is. Listen, it's a fun story.
Mm-hmm.
And also, no wedding is without drama. Remember when we got married in the mountains in December and there was black ice everywhere? And we were like, oh, by the way, could you guys just cross 2 mountain passes? And by the way, there's black ice. And also there's frozen fog. So everyone flying in from New York, you can't land. You're going to try to land. And then we had friends from New York that had made it as far as the Redmond airport, circled the airport for an hour, got diverted to LAX. A bunch of people coming from random different places ended up on the same plane trying to get back to Redmond. It left LAX, went to Redmond, circled the airport, went back to LAX, did that twice, and they couldn't land. Yeah, we had people stuck in Seattle. Everyone's like renting cars. We had friends that were stuck in Utah, trying to drive from Utah. It was such a disaster, but everyone made it.
I do remember the fog because we came late, right? Because of, I don't remember what, some kind of job, but we were coming late, and I remember at nighttime, and it was just a sheet. Like you could not see 4 inches in front of the car.
And black ice. And you're on mountain roads.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you couldn't see because it is like a steep drop off.
Good. That's good.
And you had like a cute little guardrail, like those little, like, I don't even know what they are. They're probably galvanized steel, but still in my mind, they're like aluminum. And they're like, oh, we're just here to make you think you're secure. But if you run into this, you're going over the edge.
Yeah, no, it was, I remember being very scary. But we did. Everyone made it. And the actual wedding was incredible.
It was very beautiful. Yeah. It was so cold. It was 20.
Well, it was
8
snowing,
degrees.
And we were outside in formal wear.
You can take that up with my husband.
Listen, epic.
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 So epic.
You know what made it more epic, though? Was your hair. I did not expect your hair to look that way. It was like I don't know. Like I didn't know like you had this beautiful dress, of course. But then I didn't know like cuz you had kind of like a faux hockey. Wasn't it kind of faux hockey?
It was a braid, yeah. It was like a giant braid.
Yes.
That essentially looked like a faux
hawk.
It
looked like a faux hawk. And so it added this like really cool edge. You're so edgy with your like fur, right? But that was the biggest surprise because I was like, yes, faux hawk, you best.
Yeah, everyone was like, oh, it's your wedding. You're going to want your hair down. I love how everyone tells you what you're going to want when you get married, by the way. Yeah. You're going to want this. You're going to want that. Everyone's like, oh, it's your wedding. You're going to want your hair down. And I was like, no, I don't. I don't want to be dealing with it. I don't want to be zhuzhing it every 10 minutes. My hair does not like to hold shape. I got a perm in 3rd grade, and it literally lasted for 2 days. I know. We'll come back to that later. I got a spiral perm. It was the 90s.
Yeah.
It literally lasted for 2 days, and then my hair went back to being just like flat.
So not a curler.
Volume. No. So like she doesn't hold. She don't like it. And I was like, I'm not going to deal with this. I want to just like not have to think about my hair. I want to not have to think about anything. I just want to like enjoy my time. So then I was looking through updos, and of course, like for 6 months, I was like, I hate everything. Everything's stupid. I hate everything. Everything's dumb. And then like randomly I'm scrolling through Instagram, and there's this Russian or Ukrainian, to be fair, I don't know, hairstylist who was like speaking a mile a minute in her native language about this hairstyle. And I'm watching her do it, and then they like do a flash to the final image, and I was like, "That's the one! It's
That's
that
it.
one!" And I like shopped it around to a couple people, and everyone was like, "Is that really what you want for your wedding?" And I was like, "You know what? Fuck all of you. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yes, it is.
never mind. This is whatever. That's what you get for asking other people. Yes, it's what I
I
want.
fucking loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too.
I loved it. It was just unexpected, but that is also very on brand for you.
Yeah.
So I was just like, when you walked out, I was like, yeah, yes, you better,
You better.
you better. I can still, and with bow in the middle, which isn't that so, I mean, just like full circle coming back to cabaret.
Oh my God, Bo brought us together
Mm-hmm.
and married me and my husband.
And sang at mine.
Come on,
Bo, we love you.
we do.
Pull it together.
Let's go.
Oh, no.
So that's the story of how we met.
Oh, pfft.
Wait, what was that? 2012. 2012. Because then we moved to New York in 2013. So cabaret was summer of 2012.
Yes, because you came back for my wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah, because
we got married in
Cabaret.
2013.
Winter Wonderettes, the show that will never die.
I love that show.
And yeah, then we moved to New York. Then I came back for your wedding. And then you weren't in fitness yet at that point, right?
I taught yoga.
You did teach yoga then.
Yeah, I got. Wait.
Wait a second.
Wait a second. No, maybe I wasn't.
I remember talking to you when you were thinking about doing teacher training, and I was like, bitch, you better. Like, come on.
I did because I did teacher training in 2015.
Yeah.
February 2015.
I
So,
think
wow.
I feel like I remember talking to you about it.
I just did a lot of yoga.
You came to take my class in Tribeca.
Yeah. Yeah. I just came across that photo the other day.
And I want to see it. And we had breakfast at Le Pain Quotidien.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I remember talking to you about it there, where you were like, do I? Should I? And I was like,
Yes.
of course you should.
God, really? See, that's the stuff I like 100% not black out, but
No, just time gets fuzzy. Once
Time
you
is
have children,
weird.
time means nothing, and it gets very fuzzy. I also feel like once you get older, time means nothing and is very fuzzy.
God, when was that?
2015? Is that what you said?
But, so now I'm going through photos. Anyway, I'll come off. I almost sent it to you because it was so it was so random. We were in some like random fitness room.
In the studio,
it-
in the studio at Tribeca,
Uh-huh.
the red walls.
That
Just
was
like so not on brand for Equinox.
I was about to say it was Equinox, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
That's my Friday morning Tribeca class. Loved that class. Shout out to my Tribeca peeps.
I mean, there's cabaret right there.
Ugh.
So is
The
that.
feather boas. The feather boas.
There was so much happening. Just wee babies. We were just wee babies.
We were so tiny.
And there's
And
us.
innocent.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Let me see it. Oh, it's the night. Oh my God. Wait. Oh my God. Okay. My red pixie hair.
Loved your red pixie hair though.
I did too. That was a great moment in my hair's life.
Yes.
You as
Blonde.
a she was still coming out of her LA.
No, I did that on a whim, and then I got engaged, and I said, "Out the door with that! I'm not getting married looking like this." I hated it anyway. So it was
Did
fine.
you really?
Yeah.
Well, I think you wear it well.
Thanks.
Oh my God, Bo, just looking like a baby.
He's a baby.
I mean, we all look like babies.
I know. Look at Eric.
Come on.
So cute.
I love this picture.
I know.
But also look at that. That's why it was so loud. Just like a what do you call it? Balcony over a whole ass restaurant and bar
Mhm.
on a Friday night
on a Friday night in Seattle.
downtown Seattle. Yeah.
It was so dark that we couldn't get any good pictures of like us actually getting engaged.
Oh my God.
Because our friends are photographers, and we're like, "Can you?" And they were like, "We did our best, but it's so dark in
It
here."
was very dark up
I
there.
mean, there's like just candles lighting the room.
Yeah, it was. Listen, the mood lighting was mood.
It was moved.
There was some mood.
But like, do I even wear my ring? No.
They just get in the way. They snag on
They're just a
everything.
lot.
They're so cumbersome.
They're just a lot. Oh my God. Come on.
What is it? Oh my God, baby Rosalind. Okay, this was
Is this even podcast worthy? Now we're just
No.
sharing
Yeah.
photos.
Now we're just sharing photos that nobody that's
Then
listening can
you
see.
can't see it.
It's great. You wish you could see this. This is a photo of us at the Pride Festival in San Francisco the year that Prop 8 was overturned.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, we're going to take the BART. We're going to go early, right? Like, we're experienced
How old
enough
is she?
with
She's
Pride
like
at this
2?
point. She's 3 years old in this photo
Mhm.
with her Lady Gaga Born This Way
Born
flag.
This Way.
She waved that shit around all day long. Like, anybody that would make eye contact with her, she would like wave it at them. Like, yes.
Yeah.
So aggressive.
You are born this way.
And so I was like, okay, we're gonna take the BART, we're gonna go super early, we're gonna grab lunch, we're gonna leave early. Let me tell you, we got there at 10 a.m. Shit was already so unhinged.
Yeah.
So unhinged.
Yeah.
But also, like, Prop 8 had just been overturned. I'm pretty sure people just didn't sleep. They were just, like, celebrating all day and night, and then all day, and then all night, and just, like, didn't stop.
That's when you call me. That's the picture that shows up.
I remember setting that as your background at 8-ounce Burger. We were all there before going to see a show, maybe.
8-ounce
Or
burger.
Bo and Justin were there. Who else was there? Why were we there? We were having dinner there, and I remember setting that as your background.
Just,
on
I
your
think it
phone.
was my background for a while because it's such a great picture
It's so
of
outrageous.
just like you raging against the machine.
I love a good outtake. I think all headshots should
should
be
be
outtakes.
outtakes.
Yeah.
It really does like speak to your personality. And like those are the people you want. I'm still looking for that photo. I'll find it though.
You will. I believe in you.
It is just so funny that this is the beginning of my phone photos.
That photo?
No,
Oh.
but like our relationship it's top tier. It's right up there.
So what you're saying is our relationship inspired you to start documenting your life. That's what you're saying. It was that
Basically.
inspirational.
Truly. Wilson.
That video also that just resurfaced the other day of the dressing room cabaret pre-show.
Oh yeah, I got it on here. Yeah.
whipping
smacking each
Bo
other
with the belt because he wanted welts.
real ones, not
Real
fake
ones.
ones.
Yeah, he didn't want makeup.
He's
he
a
wanted
method
the real thing.
actor.
Yeah.
He's a okay. Well, it's gone forever. But I'm sad you moved away because then you missed some real choice things that you would have been part of.
I know, like
Us going to
Parade.
Vegas.
Oh. Oh, yeah, the Vegas
Which happened
trip.
right after Parade.
Yeah.
But Vegas with a gaggle of gays. And me and my straight husband.
Yeah. Ain't nothing like it. Just you guys. Just you straights.
Just us straights. Matt Casurgis was there, so, you know.
It's like 50-50.
God love him. Oh.
But also, every man in theater is 50-50. Even if they're
Yeah.
not, they still are.
Yeah.
It's just the way of it.
It's just the way of it.
It's
You
just the
sign a
spectrum.
contract.
It's just the spectrum. It's like if you're an artist, you understand that the sexuality spectrum is not binary, no matter how you try to make it so.
Mhm.
And no matter how you identify either, right? Like there's just so many I don't want to say there aren't boundaries in theater, but like
There maybe should be
the
more.
boundaries are different in theater than in the real world.
There should probably be more.
Yeah.
Welcome to no.
It's nothing. It's everything.
It's everything.
Why? Because we talk about everything and nothing.
And all of it doesn't matter.
And none of it matters and all of it matters.
Everything's important. But at the end of the day, nothing's important.
Nothing's important. And that's the beauty of life.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all what you make it. And what the fuck do we do with that?
Life?
Yeah. We do life.
We do life.
And we make it what we want.
How can we calm our nervous system at all times?
Do we want to make it nothing? Do we want to make it everything? How can we calm our nervous system at all times? You know what we should do? We should start. No. I was going to say we
Not
should
that.
start with like breath work. We should start
Oh.
just to ground ourselves. But then no, because if we're
Mm.
leading it, then I can't be doing it.
No, we can't be. But I do think that it's important to have something that is like, have an intro, like a glow up or something, like something that brings us and I think it could be called like the nervous system check-in,
Yeah.
check-up.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to Bo. He's everywhere.
There he is.
And he's nowhere. About 2024 was so important for my nervous system.
Mm.
And I spent like real time trying to figure out what is like homeostasis for my nervous system.
Yeah.
Like what keeps me, even in time of chaos,
Uh-huh.
what keeps me grounded and like feeling the floor beneath me. And so I spent all, I think, of 2024. That was a big shift. That was one of my biggest shifts.
Same.
Yeah.
It was
Well, maybe that's what we talk about.
a big year of like the awareness
Mm-hmm.
that coping mechanisms aren't working and aren't
Mm.
helpful. And then like I mean, and then it's so hard too, at least for me, because then I was like, okay, do the research, go back, do the analysis. What's happened in the past that's contributed to these unhelpful functions that I utilize right now to like make myself feel okay? Coping, not coping, avoiding,
Yeah.
magnifying unnecessarily,
Snowballing.
snowballing. God damn it! And then I would get stuck in the cycle of like obsessive analysis of the past,
Oh, sure.
which it's like, how do you find the balance between looking at historical moments and saying, oh,
Mhm.
I could learn from that, and then also not like living there, and then finding not only something sustainable, but for me at least, it was like, what is authentic to me and not a reaction of my past, which is not authentic to me. It is
Yeah.
an emotional response to things that happened, some of which were outside my control.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of that in 2024.
Yeah. It's funny because talking about the conversation I had with Randy, one of my students, this morning about we can't do anything about the past, right? She was talking about very big topics of like injustice and, Holocaust and things like very big, really intense, horrible things. And some of the guilt that people feel now about stuff like that. And teaching children, because that's what she's a teacher, teaching us not to feel the guilt of that, but to learn from it. So same, just on a more micro level of personal growth. Of I can look in the past and I can learn from it, but I'm not going to carry that shit with me anymore
Yeah.
because it no longer serves my nervous system right now. Right? That doesn't do anything for me. I can just learn from it. And if I start to feel it again, then it's how can I get out of it quicker?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
How can you arm yourself with the tools to
Mm-hmm.
recognize it and then move in any given direction away
And if
from
you
it?
don't do anything, and that's what she was saying, she's like, we can feel it, but if we see injustice happen now and we do nothing, then we can start to feel some guilt and shame. And I feel like that's no different. That's the difference between victimizing ourselves, the victimhood that some people do, and or the explosion that some people do. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Some people go bleh and explode all their feelings on other people. Some people go so internal that they are victims of their own doing.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to deal with the shenanigans of what's happening.
It's hard, especially when you're not, this is not exclusive to our generation. I think
Mhm.
this was exclusive to many generations before us as well. But the idea that like there are good and bad feelings.
Oh,
And if you're having a quote unquote bad feeling, don't have it. So suppress it, make it go away. And like that doesn't serve any of us. Hello.
Yeah. Or those people that are on the flip side of that is the people who are on the journey of figuring out their emotions and letting them be so enveloping. Is that the right word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
It's so encapsulating that you bring those down around you.
Yeah, the people that are
You project
so
onto everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I'm trying to figure out my life.
Yeah, I'm feeling my feelings.
I'm feeling my feelings. Don't tell me how to feel my feelings. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's that post that he's talking about. It's like, how do you find, balance between killing everybody around you
Yeah.
and or killing yourself slowly?
I mean, balance is the hardest part. What was that peak posture this morning?
Super soldier.
Super soldier.
Mm-hmm.
That sneaky bitch. The minute I would, because I'd be there and I'd be like, oh, I got this. And I would like get my hips open and that rotation, that femoral rotation.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute I would rotate my cervical spine, which arguably is like the much smaller thing to rotate, all of my balance would go to shit. And I'd be like, I'm going to fall over.
Yeah. It's an idea of going from macro
Yeah.
to micro.
And it's always the micro shit that throws you off the most.
Well, and that,
But also always the micro shit that like gets you into balance the best.
yeah.
So tricky. And I also feel like there's such a duality when you're like reflecting on the past, going back to what we were just saying, when you're like reflecting on the past and how do you use it for good? How do you use it to learn?
Mm-hmm.
And collect data,
Mhm.
and at the same time not stay there and live there in the past and like dwell on it,
And
and at the same time go back to those past versions of you
mm.
and say it's okay that you exist.
Mhm.
It's okay that you weren't perfect.
Mhm.
It's okay that whatever judgment I place on you, or I would place on a neutral person who is having these reactions or these behaviors or whatever, all of those are okay, and I love you,
Mm.
and it's okay that you don't present yourself now in the way that you used to. But like making peace with the versions of yourself in the past that are less than ideal,
Mhm.
or however we choose to judge them or label them, and learn from that and be okay with it and say, I never want that to happen again. It's so fucking hard.
I mean, being a human being is nuanced, to say the least, and so hard and so detailed and so glorious and so never ending.
Yeah.
I mean, not holding shame for past. I mean, I think that's my 2025 is the thing that I'm learning is like, you can constantly change. Like when you find, it's like childhood, right? You're like, okay, we got that sleep on lock. 4 days later, they're going to be into some other developmental situation.
Yeah.
In where were we told that that should stop?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like that developing ourselves as human beings should stop.
Well, yeah, because you're an adult now. So therefore you have it all figured out,
So you
right?
got to figure it out. And I am guilty of that where I'll be like, okay, this is the Tori.
Yeah.
This is her. We feel good. I'm not this is Sumati. This is my highest self. But I will not be reincarnated. I did it. That's not the case.
No.
Like, right? Because like something will trigger me in a way that I haven't even explored yet that will surprise me. And that's where me personally I'll snowball.
Yeah.
Cuz I'll just be like, what is this feeling? I don't like it. How do I deal with it?
Well, and also if you, or I'll speak for myself, a big realization that I've had over this past year is like, if I quote unquote do the work
Mm-hmm.
to heal myself, to grow, to whatever, and I achieve whatever goal I had in the work that I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
and I then like deceive myself into believing that that's enough, all that does is make me rigid in a different way, because then I'm like, oh, I've grown, full stop, put a period on it. But in order for that to be the end of the progress, that also means the entire ass world around you has to never change.
Oh.
Because if you are that rigid,
Mm.
you cannot respond flexibly to any outside influence ever, because you're like, okay, this is me here and now in this moment, in this environment that I'm in today, on this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore everything's fine and I'm fixed and everything's fine. But what happens on Monday when something different happens?
Yeah.
And then like you have to like go through the whole process all over again. And I feel like I'm finally realizing at nearly 40 that like the only way to actually grow is to always be growing and always be evolving and always be responding flexibly to the world around me,
Mm-hmm.
rather than trying to control the world around me.
Because we know we can't control anybody.
Or
Right.
anything.
Or anything.
We can't control a pandemic.
Nope. We can't control buses. You
We
know what I'm saying?
can't
They're
control-
coming for every time. Like everybody's gonna get hit by a bus at some point. You know, I mean, just like, just 100%. And coming back to that idea of how do you calm your nervous system?
Yeah.
For me, it was when there is turmoil internally, and I can feel, those little things where you're like, I am not in my body. I am not here. I am not anything. It's becoming super hyper vigilant at becoming present.
Yeah.
Right? Because we can't control anything that's happened. We can't control what is yet to come. What I can control is my body, my thoughts, my space right here.
And that actually is sense of self, right? Like
Yeah.
if you truly have a strong sense of self, that means that you can react in any scenario
Mm-hmm.
in not only an authentic way, but like in a healthy way, because you are so grounded in who you are. And that's, I mean, there's always going to be exceptions,
Of
right?
course. I
Like,
mean, right. Because people do, we are all human.
and traumatic shit happens.
And traumatic shit happens. I will say that I have been Pat told me one time, and it was like such a honest, um, not accusation is not the right word, but like comment on who I am as a person. He said, Tori, you're so, and this is not to toot my own horn because sometimes I think that this is not great, but like, I'm so authentic that it is scary for people, right? Because I'm holding a mirror up to a lot of people. Because for me, I'm like, I have no hidden agendas or
Mhm.
anything like that. I'm literally living so presently, moment to moment. One, it's exhausting, but also two, it is can be a little selfish, right? Because
Sure.
I'm dealing. I feel like it can come off selfish, um, because I am my nervous system is that important. I made it that big of a priority for me because if it is out of whack, everything I've just noticed in my life starts to like it trickles down.
Yeah.
It hits not only my work, it hits my family, it hits my kids, it hits my husband, it hits my friends, it hits everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm in charge of getting that shit high and tight. That's my job. It's part of my job. And but sometimes, certain people don't deserve that authentic side of you.
Yes, and.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I also feel like this is why we uh
Coexist so well.
coexist so well, because we both are so much like, I am authentically who I am,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to
Unapologetically.
I'm not going to present myself in any certain way to gain acceptance or gain approval or gain appreciation. And I mean, it's always like, it's such a difficult line to toe because, like, why? I mean, this goes like into such a broader conversation of like societal expectations
Mm-hmm.
of adults, of women, of mothers, of professionals, of all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I used to put so much pressure on myself in work environments to like say the exact right thing 100% of the time. If I'm presenting, if I'm leading a meeting, whatever, I'm like, I must speak correctly and only speak in like corporate speak. And
Yeah.
like that, first of all, is not authentic to me at all.
Right.
But also like, what is the goal, right? Is the goal that I'm actually meant to communicate something, or is the goal that I'm meant to like present something? And sometimes we are meant to just present something, which means I don't have to be 100% authentically me. But it also means that like you are always having to find that balance. It's back to balance, right? In
Balance.
any given scenario,
Yeah.
what is the purpose? And like in a social setting
Mm-hmm.
or in a setting where um I mean, I would even argue in some professional settings where you have to put yourself first, especially in performing. I mean, my God, it's so different in performing than in like the average corporate environment.
Yes.
You are the product. And so you have to, one, act professionally, but two, protect the product. And so, like, how do you?
That is the season I am in right now.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like, how do you be authentic about who you are because you are the product and it affects you so deeply on a spiritual level? Also in theater, where like just the baseline is to take advantage of people,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Um, and then like, how do you find that the ability to remain authentic to yourself and be presentational enough that you are performing your role?
You're literally nailing the all the nails on the head, all the coffins into the head. That's
You're
literally what I
nailing
was going.
coffins in my head.
Uh-huh. Sometimes that's what that feels like about teacher training, where I'm like, I have to present this thing, right?
Yeah.
Just yoga. So
But there's no just about it because
no,
nothing is
no,
just
but
one
I mean,
thing.
just like yoga is such a huge thing.
Yeah.
How can we make it more tangible, more,
Yeah. How do you fit it into a binder?
how do you fit it into a binder? Like all yes. And is what I'm saying that the most up to date, accurate version of things is that, you know, am am I speaking from Tori? Am I speaking from a different place? Am I speaking for my company? Am I speaking? There's just all of those thoughts have been in my head for the last, I don't know, 6 months plus.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're gonna find out day one when I verbally diarrhea everywhere because that's what I do when I get nervous. But keeping yet again, I'll come back to that. I can only control myself right now. So slow it down. Like, how can I ground myself? And I mean, to the point where people think it's so silly, but I'm like, put your butt on the ground,
Yeah.
right? Like, get outside the box of what we think is like lighting a candle or some incense
Yeah.
and turning lights down and calming down that way. That doesn't mean you're internally calm.
Right. That means your environment is calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you need? And I'll ask you, Kimberly McFerrin, what do you need when you are chaos internally? What are some tools that you do?
Oh my God. I will say box breathing is usually helpful for me.
Mm-hmm. That's so funny. Box breathing really makes me chaotic.
Really.
I'm probably the only person in the entire world.
I have to do it very specifically. I have to do in the nose, out the mouth. I don't do a traditional 4 4 4 4 or 2 2 2 2 2. It
Okay.
is like the counts are different.
Mm.
And it really depends on the situation too. It depends on how heightened I am. Like if I am in full anxiety panic
Mm-hmm.
and my heart rate is 5 million miles an hour,
Mm-hmm.
that breathing technique is going to look a lot different than if I'm just like, okay, I got to prepare for a meeting and I'm feeling a little bit anxious about it. And so I just need to like ground myself and take some deep breaths and do like some lion's breath in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in like deep anxious panic, I usually have to isolate myself, like get away from people.
Mm.
Like which is hard when you have kids, right? Because like they want to climb on you, they want to be around you, they get comfort by being near you, and I am like allergic to physical touch when I'm anxious. Like I don't want to feel anyone's energy. I don't want to feel anyone's physical presence. I need to be like alone. Like put me in an isolation chamber.
Put me in the coffin.
Put me in the coffin. Put me inside that coffin. It should be
Nail it shut.
soundproofed. Noise is really agitating for me.
Oh.
Really agitating for me.
Mm.
So like I pop in the headphones, I turn on the noise canceling. Rushing water, not like a cute trickle of like a bubbling brook, but like rushing water for whatever reason is really helpful for me.
Like rapids?
Yeah, or like like a full-on river or like
Okay.
Niagara Falls.
Yes, okay.
Really helpful for me for some reason.
Wow.
I have to touch myself. I have
We're on a podcast, Kimberly.
Oh, it's not that kind of podcast. I have to like remind myself that I am a physical being.
Yes.
I have to like put my hands, usually it's one hand on my heart, one hand on
Yes.
my lower abdomen.
Yes.
And I have to be like, here, I am here. And I have a mantra that I say to myself every single time. You are here, you are safe, you are present. And I have to like brainwash myself. I have to like brainwash myself into believing those things. I am here. Right now I am here. Right now I am safe.
You are.
There is no lion charging after my family.
Yeah.
There are no bombs being dropped on my house. There, like in this moment, I am safe. Even if my body feels very unsafe, I am safe in this moment. I am present. I am present. It is Sunday afternoon. I am here with Tori. Like this is the moment right here. And I have to say it over and over and over and over again until I believe it.
Yeah.
Grounding doesn't work for me. Like feeling my feet on the floor doesn't work for me. Meditation when I'm like that spun up doesn't work for me. No. Like lighting some incense and lighting candles doesn't work for me. I need, but I will say bright lights do not work for me either. I have to get into like a darker or like more moody environment. Typically I have to close my eyes because everything is overstimulating.
Sure.
I just have to like shrink the outside world to come back to myself. And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes
you don't have all those things.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have all those things. Sometimes I have to like press pause on it and just like walk around with that heightened anxiety until I can address it. And sometimes that means like I am a fucking tornado in my house and to my family until I can like spend 3 hours in the bathtub and just like marinate into
in your own juices.
In my own juices. Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky. And it took me a long time to like figure out. And those
things a tool bag, right?
Don't always work. Yeah, it's a tool bag. But also like you have to get curious. And I feel like it's very easy to be prescribed things to do to co-regulate your nervous system because there are so many tools out there. But like, you know, if we had like a card deck of options, it's not like they're not interchangeable for me.
No.
The other thing is singing bowls with lower resonance. If I find like lower resonance singing bowls on on Spotify
Spotify. Yeah.
and turn it up hella loud.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you're really auditory.
Super auditory.
Super auditory.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. What about you?
Grounding does help me a lot. I would say yes, same with the feeling of feeling myself. I did learn this technique of butterfly taps,
Mm-hmm.
which I did the other day, and I was like, I think it depends on butterfly taps being you cross your arms on your chest and you alternate between tapping a shoulder or your chest.
Clavicle, yeah.
But I think it would depend on what kind of anxiety I'm having. If because I feel like this would also aggravate me depending. So I think it depends.
Yeah.
I think it depends on if I need to come into my actual physical body or if I'm already in my physical body and how do I slightly balance coming out. Right?
Like you've retreated too far.
I've retreated too far. That can be an issue for me where I'll retreat too deep and to where I'm second guessing absolutely every feeling.
Ugh.
Every
Yes.
morsel of every little just molecule of my body. I'm like, what is that? What I can feel everything internally.
Mm-hmm.
Which, oh my gosh, I saw not even the full movie. I haven't seen Inside Out 2 yet.
Ugh.
But I saw it was probably 15 seconds of her anxiety attack.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to bawl right where I was.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I was like, what a beautiful visual representation of what your insides feel like. So smart, those Pixar people.
Both of those movies. So smart.
So smart. So smart.
So good. Thank God our kids have these tools.
Thank God. Because we're having to do it the hard way.
Yeah.
I mean, now we also have those tools. I'm not ashamed. I literally today on my way here, I was like, you know what I want tonight? I want to go home and I want to force everybody to watch Inside Out 2 with me.
Yeah.
Because they watched it without me. I was so mad. I was like, shame on you. Screw you, Pat. And which I said to his face, I was like, screw you, man. But he did, God bless him, trying to show all sides. He like ugly cried in front of the boys. And one of our boys is like, Daddy, don't.
Oh.
Yeah. My eldest
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, which we've never talked about.
Yeah, but people around him, right?
But even yes and no. I don't know where it comes from because it started very young where he'd be like, anytime he would feel emotion, he would be like, turn it off. I was like, who are you? You didn't come from me.
Yeah. Let it out. Be authentically you.
Be authentically
at everyone
you.
at all times.
And so like learning as a parent how to give him those tools now is going to be really interesting and probably hard.
Yeah.
And messy as all parts of parenthood are. But anyway, so grounding, I will say candles do help me. Warm light.
Yeah.
Like warm, soft music. There's something that's very nostalgic about like a George Winston piano.
Sure.
Because I'm an 87-year-old man. But we grew up on it.
Some Yanni.
Don't fuck with Yanni, bro.
Some nice relaxing Yanni.
Some Yo-Yo Ma slaps. He slaps. Yo-Yo Ma slaps. I love me some just like gentle music.
Sure.
Yanni. I don't know but my brother would love a Yanni. He does love a Yanni.
I would not peg that about him at all.
Oh my gosh. He has got some weird savant music. Like you can play anything instrumental from any soundtrack, and my brother will know the composer and what it's from. Has always been like that.
That's fun.
It's incredible. And I was like, give me that
Look
gift.
at Ross just keeping us on our
You're
toes. Yeah, you don't need that.
wasting it. I'm so mad about that you got that. And I'm like, huh? Who's Gershwin? I don't know.
What do you mean read music?
Oh yeah, I've tried so many times. Got A's in all those classes, still can't read. Music. Clarify that.
How those books coming, babe?
Oh no! But I think the biggest thing for me, just to keep like balance, is movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any kind of movement.
Yeah.
Walking has been a huge thing for me. Which seems like so, just go for a walk. It's like I'll walk anywhere though. I'll walk around my kitchen. I will walk to the bathroom and back. I will walk. Outside's always beautiful, but like I got a walking pad just for that
Yeah.
because we live in the Pacific Northwest.
She get moody. Ugh, yuck.
I know,
Gross.
but we have hummingbirds to look at outside. Oh, it's a moon. I was like, why is the moon so big
And in my tree.
and in the tree? Oh, it's supposed to be a full moon tonight, I believe.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty dramatic one too.
That's what I heard. So we got some big shifts. Not to go full woo woo on everybody. But yeah, walking. I think movement. If
Yeah.
I'm like real high, it's a yoga for me.
Yeah, well, that intentional breath to movement forces you into your body in a way that nothing else does.
Yeah, and the heat is a big
Yeah, me
component.
too.
Sauna. I got a sauna because of that. Just one of those like trashy ones from Amazon. It's lovely.
One of those like zippy
ones that
Yeah.
looks like a big old boo box in my house.
But also like the alternative is paying $5,000 for one. No,
I don't
come on.
have that kind of coin on me.
No.
And it was a gift from my husband, so thank you, Pat. But
on, Patty.
come on, Pat. He uses it too, but it's really I think it's the elements.
Yeah.
Right, the elements. I mean, we forget because you've mentioned water. I mentioned heat,
It's
air,
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's a full September moment. My parents loved Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Mine too.
I mean, still do. They're not dead, but they still like it. But anyway, James Taylor. He's also another calm my nervous system.
Yeah, JT. Oh, yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guitar music.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I think too, when Nick and I first started dating, my use of the term or the phrase "go take a hike" is very different from his. I don't know if it's West Coast, East Coast, or if it's
Oh.
like family to family.
Okay.
But like when we would get into scenarios where like either something happened to him and he was feeling super emotional, or like we were having tension and we were feeling super emotional, I'd be like, "Do you need to go take a hike?" And he would get like so upset. Because to me, it's like,
could you just leave, please?
yeah, can you please get out of here?
Get out of here.
Because to me, it's like if I am in a scenario where I know things are not going in a good direction and I know I'm spiraling out of control, I'm like, I gotta go take a hike. Which to me is like, I'm going to leave. I'm gonna go for a walk.
Go for
Like
a
you
walk.
said, go for a walk, clear my head,
Yep.
like get out of this yuck that I feel right now. But for him, he has like a very East Coast understanding. Go take a hike.
Yeah.
Which is
get
like,
the fuck
go
outta
fuck
here.
yourself.
Yeah. That's how I take it.
Yeah. So okay, so I guess it's
Maybe
just
is
me.
it just a Portland
It's just- it might be. It might just be an
Portland.
Oregon thing.
Because you guys really do hike.
Like, hey babe, do you need to go take a hike? It's like so thoughtful.
Hey, babe, you want to go fuck yourself? Oh, excuse me?
Yeah, I will never forget his
Oh.
face the first time I said that. I was like, what? What did I
What did I
say?
say?
And
I'm
what's
trying to
funny
help
too is
you.
like I know colloquially how that phrase is utilized, but I'm just like so used to it meaning what it
Yeah.
means to me that I was
Yeah.
like, obviously he knows I didn't mean it like that, but like, no, he didn't,
No, he
because he's
didn't.
never heard it that way before. And to be fair, it's me. Maybe I would have said it and meant it the other way in some scenarios also.
You're actually like, no, literally, go take a
Hey,
hike.
can you please go take a hike
Go take a hike.
right now, please?
That's so funny.
But taking a hike.
But also walking and taking a hike.
And also
Lovely.
being able to like respect and respond to that in the moment and be able to acknowledge like here is a moment where I have to separate myself. I have to remove myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go like walk it out, flush it out, clear it out, whatever.
What do you think stops people from doing it?
Oh my God. I mean,
But
how
I mean, like,
long do we have?
Not that long. But like, I mean, like, what's the like? Because of course it's going to change per person.
Yeah.
But I think on like just like a really basic level, do people think that it's silly?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like, is it ego?
I think
that
it's. I
stops?
think ego is a lot of it. People
Mhm.
think it's silly. People are like, I don't need that.
I don't need a candle.
Yeah.
I don't need to walk
I don't need to do that.
by myself.
For me personally, I can find 100 excuses because the
There's
to-do
so much
list
to
is
do.
so long, right? To where I can very easily justify not doing it because I don't have the time.
Hmm.
But the reality is, if I don't take the time now, I'm going to take more time away from that to-do list later on when I have a full-blown meltdown.
Yeah, there's the crux of the biscuit.
And that is still like a constant negotiation in my mind.
That is where you and I are opposite. because it's a non-negotiable for me. And
Yeah.
it's an everyday practice. And I think but this is where I had a conversation with a friend of mine because she's like, man, you're so good at like this quote unquote self-care stuff, right? Which that's a different time, different combo.
Yeah.
But I do put myself at the top of my priority list. Bless you.
Like, is it coming? Is it not coming?
Look at the moon.
Oh, it's gone.
Usually it stops. Yeah,
Oh.
looking at the light will stop a sneeze.
Look at that.
Or if you can say bless you before they do it, usually you'll knock them out. Anyway,
God,
tips and tricks, Tori.
brains are fascinating.
Brains are fascinating. But I think it's because I've taken motherhood probably kicked it into high gear for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if I am falling apart, everything will fall apart. But yeah, but also I am privileged in what I do for a job. It allows time.
Yeah.
Right. Which is not everybody's scenario. But I'm also that person who could never ever stay in a job that I absolutely hated to pay the bills. I'd be like, I'll live in a fucking box.
Yeah.
You know? But at least I'll be happy, right? In my box. Where some people will work jobs that they don't absolutely love and to pay to have the money so that they can enjoy life, which is yes. Man, you better be enjoying life. I had I had that conversation with a student this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, if that's the trade-off you're making, you better be making the trade-off.
Yeah. But every day, every morning I get up, I'm like, it's just like setting an intention at the beginning of my yoga class. It's like, how does Tori feel today?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might. And if I don't like, I also had to tell myself, like when I jump out of bed, I'm not jumping anywhere. But like if it takes me a little bit of time to warm up into the day, that's okay. Because I used to like really be hard on myself. Be like, well, obviously I'm not going to have a good day because I'm tired right now.
Yeah.
Like, who? What? Chill out, T.
Everyone else on this whole planet wakes up feeling invigorated except for you.
Except for me.
Yeah.
The people who are doing it right. I'm not doing it right. And I was like, no, just every day is different. Also learning that was, which we talked about before, was like every day is different.
That's also the self-knowing, like knowing what you need no matter how you wake up. If you wake up with a pep in your step, great, lucky you.
Hit it.
You're doing it. If you wake up without a pep in your step, which is me the vast majority of the time, I know that I need to have a certain kind of morning. I need to have even if it's 15 minutes to myself before I speak to another person, before I address a child's need. I need it to be dark. I need to get up. I need to make my tea. Going outside is so helpful. Breathing fresh air is so helpful.
No, it's just so cold outside.
It's really fucking cold.
Because I mean, they say that seeing sunlight, even if. Wait, did you and I have this conversation about like light exposure? No, maybe I don't know.
Who knows?
If it's light outside, like if the sun is shining, you can be in it for 5 minutes. If it's cloudy outside, and it's like a 5, 10, 15 rule. And I can't remember. Oh no, I think I learned it from a Mel Robbins.
Come on, Mel.
Episode that I listened to. Because I was trying to like work on that because I did notice a difference. Summertime's so easy. You just step out and you're
so
like,
easy.
You know.
Also, like you wake up in the morning here in the summer and like sun is bright, birds are chirping. It's like a Disney morning.
Talk
you're
about,
like, I'm gonna get up
a
and
pep in your
sing
step.
to myself.
That's when you turn on all the peppy music.
Yeah.
I will say that going back to tools.
Yeah.
If I'm in a dark place.
Yep.
You turn on some freaking Beyonce and you just shake it out.
Yep.
The shake it out method.
Yeah.
And you just
100%.
dance.
Dance your tits off.
Dance your tits off. There's our first shirt.
Dance your tits off.
Dance your tits off. Which the last thing I want to do is do that. But I know it's going to change the trajectory of my day.
Yeah, that's how you positively manipulate your outcomes for yourself.
That's why music was made.
Yeah.
Was to change on a cellular level of who we are.
There are moments when I'm like deep in it and all I want to do is like listen to moody, like sad, moody music. Like, oh my God. When I am feeling it and I put on Gravity, Sarah Bareilles' Gravity, and I'm like, like I feel it so hard. And then I'm like, okay, babe, okay, you felt it? Great. Like now we gotta flip it. Now we gotta like you use the music as tools, right?
Yeah.
To feel your feelings and then to help yourself get to the next place. Because otherwise, what am I gonna do? Sit there and be like, Kimberly, it's time to be happy now?
And also embracing tears.
Yes. Get them out.
Because
Get them out.
I read this study where tears are actually like directly connected to our nervous system
It is literally your nervous system releasing.
because
Yeah.
it's so pent up. And I mean, we've all been there when we have like a really good cry, and man, we're like a reborn person after
Yeah.
we have the good cry. Let's acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Let's let that be a tool.
It is a tool.
That's why I was like, tonight, I mean, she's about to start her period, you know, so she's already in her feels. But like, I was like, that's why I wanted to watch that movie, because I was like, I think I need a good cry
Mm-hmm.
because I'm about to go into a really stressful week of opening a show, and not having my full tools with me is very, very stressful. And so I was like, I think I need to have some pent up shenanigans.
Yeah, you got to burst that bubble.
You just gotta let it go and not being ashamed of that.
Yes.
Not putting guilt to it.
Not
None of it.
deciding that it's negative.
Not deciding that it's bad. It's excellent. Cry.
In front of your children, for God's sake.
Oh my God. Let them feel the tears. Or it'll be a whole nother podcast, because I'd love your opinion on how to get my eldest to feel feelings, because he has big feelings.
Yeah, he's got big old feels.
He's got the biggest of feels, but he's is actively trying to suppress them.
Is it? God, I feel like we're about to open a whole new can.
I know. Just put it in our thing.
Okay.
Because
I immediately am like, who told him to do that?
Well, yeah, it's a whole nother. I'm just gonna put
Put a pin in it. Put a pin
Yeah.
in it. Put a pin in it.
Finn's
But you
feels.
have to get the feels out. Get
Mhm.
them the fuck out. This is what Nick and I talk about all the time. I mean, I remember we had been dating for, I don't even know. We had been dating for maybe a couple of months.
Mm.
And we were like out on his back patio one night, just like standing outside hanging out, smoking a joint.
God bless.
And, you know, and he just like ever so casually is like, yeah, so when I was 11, my dad tried to kill himself, but I'm fine now. And I remember laughing in his face and being like, what do you mean you're fine now? Nobody's ever fine from that. Like, what do you mean you're fine now?
Yeah.
And now here we are 10 years later,
Yeah.
where he's like dissecting why for so long he suppressed everything that he felt because of it. Because he grew up in a Catholic environment.
He's a boy.
He's a boy.
He's a boy.
He grew up in a very hardened part of the country
Mm-hmm.
where having any kind of soft feelings automatically makes you
Feminine.
And also makes you less than just like in a family, in like a familial perspective. I mean, just like there's so many layers to it. So many layers to it. And so even now, as a grown ass man with children, he's like, oh, how do I feel my feelings? Yeah. And like, thank God, but also like, we got to get Finney out. Pull him out.
We gotta keep him high and tight.
Yeah.
I was excited when he was born and had big feelings. I mean, yet again, that's a whole nother thing, because I know. Well, Pat and I, we know that the family has. I mean, we've had conversations where it's like, you know, Finn's just he's sensitive. Yeah, fuck yeah, he is.
And also, like, so is everyone.
I was about to say, so are you guys.
Yeah.
You're just suppressing it.
Yeah. You just have stuffed it down for so long.
I mean, I posted that on my stories. Literally, I think it was yesterday. It might still even be there, where it was like, you know, just two statements, one over the other, and it was like, "You're too sensitive," was one of them, and then underneath it was like, "No, you're just emotionally intelligent."
Yeah, I think the most dangerous person is a person who does not allow themselves to feel.
That's called a sociopath. Yeah, those people exist. It's
Yeah.
Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Not great.
Not great. Doesn't usually lead to happiness.
Doesn't usually give you much back.
But it's wild what a common trauma response it is.
Yeah. I mean, even Pat deals with that still.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he and I have, I mean, we've done a lot of chatting, and now that he does physical movement, like works out, he has noticed when he doesn't, like how it internally affects him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you take away movement, our bodies are meant to move.
Yeah.
So let's, even if it is like, I'm going to go for a walk. But yes, men specifically have been told not to have a tool bag.
Right. Yeah,
'Cause
your
even if
tool
you
bag is be hard, be
be a
tough.
tool bag.
Yeah,
You are the
your
tool
tool bag
bag.
is you're the fucking tool bag.
You're the tool bag. And
Don't be a tool bag.
like
Have a tool bag.
have a tool bag. Don't be one. And so like just retraining has been a long, hard road, but it's important.
So hard. And it's so important. And how amazing for our kids
Yeah.
that they get to do significantly less retraining later on in life because now they get to be in an environment where they're allowed to feel all of their feelings.
All the feels.
And also like the separation between what it means to feel your feelings versus what it means to act on your feelings. Those two things should always be separate from one another. But the more, especially, I don't want to say it's exclusive to boys because I have a deeply feeling, deeply rageful female child. The more you shut off those feelings so that they can't feel them, the more they act on them because they can't feel them fully.
Yeah.
And then you have the asshole kids. Sorry to say it, but it's true.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault.
Well, I think that another layer to that is this idea of gentle parenting and passive parenting, right? And especially with girls, right? You don't want to like, you're trying to build up a girl who is taking up space.
Yeah.
Especially as the females who have been told to take up less space.
Be less.
Be
You're too
less.
much.
You're trying to teach this young girl to take up more space and be okay with that and not shy away from it. But I feel like there are some like social norms that are like, hey, maybe don't, but how do you like, where's the balance of teaching children? Because even, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not specific to gender to take up space, but also don't be a dick, like.
I mean, Rosalind and I were just having this conversation not that long ago because, we are a very communicative family at all times. And she struggles socially because her friends don't communicate in the way that she does. She sees a problem and she's like, let's talk about it. And they're like, what are you talking about?
Why would we talk about it?
Right. So she struggles with that a lot. But she's like, my friends always talk about how angry I am. And I didn't realize until recently that like, yeah, I'm kind of angry. And I was like, tell me more
Let
about
me get
that.
my tea for this.
Tell me more about that. And she just went in to talk about how, like, she doesn't suppress her feelings and she vocalizes her feelings so that she doesn't act on them. And socially, there are quote unquote consequences to that, right? To being vocal about how you feel all the time. And the conversation we had was, I was like, well, are you okay with the fact that that's people's judgment about you? And she was like, yeah, I don't care. And that's the thing is like, you have to let them, right?
Yep.
You have to understand no matter what you do, there will be a judgment. There will be a perception. There will be a misconception. There will be something will get misconstrued because you're dealing with outside elements. Every human on this planet is an outside element. So like, I just appreciated her response so much because she was like, I'm not going to not feel my feelings because it makes other people uncomfortable.
Amen.
And if they want to have a conversation about it, if they want to understand what I'm feeling, if they want to understand where my head's at, I will happily have that conversation. But if they just want to stand on the outside and judge me for being loud about my feelings, that's not my problem. And I was like, oh,
why wasn't I like that when I was 15?
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is like everyone's
Why am I
gonna
not like
place
that when I was
judgment.
fucking 20? I
Yeah.
mean, like, that is such a big, incredibly real thing.
And for where she is socially, I mean, she's a freshman in high school. For where she is socially, it's probably going to have more consequences than
It's gonna
benefits
kick
in
her
a
in the
social
chin
setting.
a lot. Yeah, it's gonna
In a social setting,
Yeah.
it's going to have more consequences than not. But for her to be so rooted in who she is that she is always willing to be true to herself above what others think of her. I mean,
I literally, this is the podcast I was going to send you. It's called Let Them. And it's a whole movement at this moment right now. People are like getting it tattooed on their bodies and all the things. I actually have a student who had it tattooed on her body.
Yeah.
Because of like the people pleasing and the kowtowing and the bending over backwards for other people to appease other people. It's like, as long as you are authentic to yourself and you're not a dick about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, we all have to be human beings who
Yeah.
aren't rude.
Don't be a dick to others.
Don't be a dick to others, but like your happiness is going to look different than everybody else's happiness.
Right.
Right? Your nervous system needs different things to bring it back than everybody else's. So let them.
Yeah.
Let them sit outside and judge you.
Yeah.
And then you get to have the opportunity to make those decisions, right? To see them, to let them live their lives, and then you get the decision to be like, do I want that in my life?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't change anybody, right? You cannot change. You
Right.
can help. You can try to, coach, but at the end of the day, they're gonna show their true colors,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not. It's like somebody lying to you and being like, well, and giving excuses. It's like, no, that person, let them lie to you.
Yeah. Yep.
They are literally showing you the true colors of it all.
Yeah. And then you get to make, it's all about
and then
boundaries,
let me, right? Let
Right.
me decide.
My boundary has nothing to, my boundary requires nothing of you. You're going to show me who you are, and then I'm going to make a boundary or not based on that information. You get to continue to be you. I'm not going to try to control you. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I mean, like Jesus, this goes back to so much too, like being women in society, being told we have to look a certain way, always wear makeup, make sure you've got a heel on, make sure you're dressing. I mean, the messaging that we have been getting since the minute we came out of the womb about how we're meant to present ourselves to be socially acceptable. Why is anyone else's opinion about whether or not I wear makeup any of my business?
No.
None of my business. I mean, even a step further, like this is one that I still struggle with, but I mean, here I am. I haven't shaved my legs in 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, God bless.
Because like, why do I give a fuck what anybody else thinks about the hair on my legs? That's none of my business what anyone else thinks about
Do you
it.
like having hair on your legs?
I don't care.
Or you
I
don't
mean, like,
care?
if I'm gonna go to an event
Sure.
and I'm gonna show a leg, I'm gonna shave.
Got you.
I'm not at the point yet where I'm like comfortable having Bigfoot legs in a formal gown.
Under
not there
tights.
yet.
I like it.
We're not there
I
yet.
have seen there was a friend of my parents who had hairy legs, and I remember this growing up, like little Tori saw her in pantyhose, and I was like, oh, that looks weird. It was just mashed down hair.
It does.
But I remember it to this day. I had to be like 7.
Yeah.
Like I was a little kid, and I remember looking at her legs, being like, that's weird. What's happening there?
That looks different.
That looks different.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything of it other than like, maybe she likes having hair on her legs.
Yeah.
I personally don't, but I also don't shave my legs a lot.
Yeah.
But I also don't give a shit if people don't.
Right. Yeah. Like if I'm like wearing a casual summer dress and we're just like going to lunch, you're gonna see my hairy ass legs, and that is what. It's none of my business how you think
How you feel about that.
If anybody has to have an active thought about the hairy legs of a stranger, that's.
You know what I say to people like that who are like opinionating or having opinions on other people's like bodies?
Yeah.
I was like, read a book. Distract your brain
Yeah.
from even looking at those
Sounds like
details.
you need to do something.
It sounds like you need to discover other things.
Yeah.
Because like, why are we commenting on people's bodies?
Yeah. And why does it make me less societally acceptable? Who was it? Oh my God, I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of my friends in New York who was commenting about the fact that like I'll always wear a red lip and I'll never shave my armpits. And I'll do both of those things at the same time.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, that's who the fuck I am. Like, yeah, I might put on a red lip with no mascara and no contour and no bronzer and just have like my pasty white face with a bold red lip and some hairy ass armpits. And like, that's just who I am.
And you're like, I'm feeling myself.
Yeah, you know what I am? I'm comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that obnoxious armpit stubble that you either have to shave every single day or else it starts stabbing you and irritating you all day long. And like, it has no actual impact on anybody else's life. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not
getting in anybody's way.
I'm not getting in anybody's way.
No.
It's just some hair.
It's just some hair. Everybody's got it. I mean, not everybody.
But societally.
Right. You're a woman, so why do you have hair under your armpits?
Here's the shocker. Women actually have body hair.
I knew it.
I know.
Knew it.
I know that this is like a thing that we're not supposed to talk about in American society because we want all of our women to look like they're 13 years old.
Yeah,
But women actually have body hair.
I know.
Some women have facial hair.
I know.
Come on.
I'm waiting for my mustache.
Some ladies got the back hairs.
Uh-huh.
You know?
I have I have a beauty mark on this hand. And I have for an Italian, this is it. I don't have any, I know. My whole family, my brother, my dad, we all look like this. There's no hair.
What? You guys are fake Italians.
Wait, I know. Like
guys are
literally,
not real
my
Italians.
brother and my dad have less hair probably than I do on their legs. Now, to be fair, Ross was a cyclist, so he had to shave his legs.
Sure. Yep.
But so maybe it just never grew back. I don't know. But no, I just don't think we're just not hairy people because I don't have the normal hair. But I'm
Yeah.
like, but I had a friend.
But you also don't have like northern Italian complexions. Like you guys are dark complected.
We are complected.
Complected.
Love it. Change nothing.
Listen,
yes, we are.
we're adding it to the
We
dictionary.
are complected.
If we can put skibbity riz in the dictionary, we can
Skibbity
put
riz.
complected in there.
But I had a friend who would shave her arms. She had
Yeah.
hairier arms growing up, and she would shave them. And I remember thinking, because we were probably 7 and 8.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she was shaving her arms because she was so embarrassed about how, and I was like,
Well, that's because kids are assholes too.
because kids are assholes. Teach your kids not to, like, let that be your real parenting flex. Is like, I taught my kid not to be an asshole, a judgy a-hole. I don't think it's that hard. Have
But
no
it's the
opinions about
unlearning.
other people. Like, have no opinions about other people.
Yeah, do something better with your time, your energy, and that beautiful brain inside your head.
Read a book.
Read a book.
Read a book. There's lots of books out there.
Meditate. Listen to a podcast.
Get your nervous
Take
system.
a hike.
Yeah, take a hike. Full circle. But also, coming back to the whole beginning of it all, get your nervous system in check.
Yeah.
Because something about that is triggering something in you.
Right.
That is making you feel chaotic inside. Therefore, you feel compelled to say something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all connected, right? Like, that's how I see it. I'm like, oh, they saw that. It triggered something in them. They didn't like that.
Yeah.
They feel out of control and they're compelled to say something.
Yeah.
So let's work it backwards.
That's right. Do
Fi-
the work back.
Yeah.
Guess where it starts?
Reverse
and
engineer.
ends. It's a whole ass circle.
Because you are just as important. Like your brain, your heart, your nervous system, all of it is important to get into check. So, like, fucking do it. Like, what are we talking about? I'm like, you will feel better. It's going all the way back to the respect your deathbed.
Yeah.
It's the motto in our family.
Yes.
It's like, I would rather feel calm, cool, and collected when I'm there than see all the mistakes because I wasn't regulated.
Yeah.
And knowing that I can't, I mean, that was a huge parenting thing for Pat and I when we realized you can't regulate a dysregulated child by unregulating yourself.
Right.
Right? So you have to regulate yourself first. You have to start there. It's just like filling up your cup, right? First, putting your mask on first.
Yeah. It's the
All of
oxygen
these
mask.
sayings are real for a reason. So, like, make it real.
Because I think there's so much fear too in people. Like if you look at an Italian with super hairy arms and you're like,
Mhm.
oh my God, her arms are so hairy. Like, how is that? Why is that a threat to you?
Mm.
Because the root of it is something about you would not feel safe in doing that, right? Because you've decided that something about you is not enough.
Yeah.
That you have to then make it about someone else.
You weren't allowed to have a hairy arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is threatening to you. It's showing a mirror in, being like, you weren't allowed to. And so you'll either feel rage or shame or one of those negative words.
Yeah.
And therefore you project your shenanigans onto that person. And that's none your business.
That's none your business.
And the person with the hairy arms, you just got to let them and say, well, that's the last time we need to be around each other, friend. 'Cause
Yeah. If you're that offended, if you're that offended by somebody's hair,
There
if
are
you take
other
that
big
much
things.
offense to the hair on my legs, we shouldn't be in each other's lives.
Yeah,
It's just not. There are
that's okay.
far bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, that's okay that you are allowing that to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's an allowing.
Yeah. It is.
Because
Yeah.
my hair isn't attacking you like spaghetti. And so like, you know,
The alien tentacles that grow on my
Can
legs.
you imagine? Oh my God, that is an
It's
actual
terrifying.
nightmare.
That's maybe my worst nightmare.
Oh my God, I can't unsee it.
It's a horror movie.
And I put it in my own brain.
You did. It's beautiful.
Spaghetti legs.
Oh, God, with eyes. And they have like little fingers on the ends of them just to grab you with their little tenderly fingers.
Hate that.
I love it.
But
I'm
if
gonna
my
start
spaghetti
growing spaghetti
legs-
on my legs.
Those are our mugs they're gonna sell.
Yeah,
Just spaghetti
Spaghetti
leg
legs.
eggs. The merch is gonna be off the chain, everybody.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think really the root of where are we? Oh yeah, I think really the root of all of this
Yeah.
is
Come back to it.
you're never too much.
And you're always enough.
Come on.
Come on.
Bye.
Yes. Oh, good though.
We did it.